Hi, I am Mary, and this is my story. I drank ayahuasca for the first time in 2018. I had heard about this medicine from the jungle a few years before that. And to be honest, when I heard about it the first time, I thought this is definitely not for me. But the truth is, I was not in a good place in my life. Everything looked good on paper. I had a nice job. I had my own apartment, good friends. I traveled a lot. But on the inside, I was not happy. It was like something felt off, and I couldn't really pinpoint what it was. So it was manifesting in really self-destructive behavior. I was not treating myself very well, partying too much, eating unhealthy, just having some very unhealthy habits. And this I had become aware of, and I really wanted to change that, but ayahuasca for me just seemed too drastic. So instead I started doing different things. I slowly built up a meditation practice. I started doing yoga. I participated in the first cacao ceremonies, and this all became the beginning of me looking inwards and shining a light on what was there. But it almost felt like the more I became aware of my self-destructive behavior, and the more things I started doing for myself, the more good things I started doing for myself, I would equally doing something that was as self-destructive. For about 2 years, I had this feeling of this pendulum swinging. So every time I did something good for myself, very quickly thereafter, I would do something self-destructive that did not suit me well. And so eventually I thought, okay, I'm gonna give this medicine a chance. And a new chapter was about to begin for me. Everyone is saying that ayahuasca is not a quick fix, but I was definitely hoping for some experience that would turn my life around. I came to this medicine out of a place of desperation, seeking guidance, seeking help. I needed things to change. But with this also came a sense of fear, because I was aware what is behind. Obviously, there is something behind my self-destructive behavior. What lies underneath it? What is it that is beneath the surface that I'm not aware of? Is it even something that I want to face? I want to change, but am I ready to face what is underneath it? This fear was definitely with me. Escuchas mis cigarros con las orejas, con las orejas. Escuchas mis cigarros. I smile at myself with love when I look back at those first ceremonies. Well done, Mary. Well done. It takes a lot of courage to go in there and drink that first cup, diving into the unknown, not knowing what to expect. Well done, Mary. And I was struggling. It was not easy. I felt so sick. I felt so miserable, and I wasn't able to ask for help, so I was just laying there in my own misery, not really able to figure out what to do with any of it. And today when I look back at it, I know that is exactly where the medicine wanted me. Medicine was not there to magically remove my misery in one weekend. No. But she showed me, this is what is there. This is how you're feeling. And this was an invitation for me to do the work ahead. I had to do the work myself, step by step, walking that path into figuring out, why do I have this self-destructive behavior? What is it inside of me that keeps me here? And over the years, I would realize it was like this inner battle. There was a part of me that deeply wanted to change, that deeply wanted to feel better, to be happy, to be filled with self-love. And at the same time, there was a part of me that would draw me in the other direction, that would want to keep me exactly where I was. So this inner battle needed to unfold in its own way. And drinking that first cup became the beginning of a long journey with the medicine. There's a part of me that has always felt rootless somehow. I remember in my 20s, I would travel a lot and I always felt at home. No matter where I came, I immediately felt at home. But every time I was back in Denmark, there was a part of me that felt like I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be somewhere else. And I could never figure out what is that feeling? Where am I supposed to be? But a year after I had drank my first cup of ayahuasca, I returned to the retreat center as a volunteer. And it was a sunny day. We were sitting out in the grass, ready to have a sharing circle. And I remember looking around at the participants, all the other volunteers, the facilitators. And suddenly I had this feeling that right in this moment, I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. And it filled me with such calmness and such clarity. It didn't matter where I was going or where I was before, but just knowing at that point in time, I was exactly where I was supposed to be. And when I came back from that retreat that same evening, a melody was flowing. And the words came soon after. And that evening I wrote Medicina. I say I wrote it, but to be honest, it feels a lot more like the medicine gifted me a song. This was a gift from ayahuasca to me. And with this song, she was inviting me to sing with her and to let my voice become her voice. And she was giving me a little glimpse of a path that was about to unfold for me. From here on, my path has been an ongoing journey of doing my own deep inner work, as well as studying this medicine from the Amazon and studying the plants from the jungle. In 2021, I went to Peru for the first time to study with the Shipibos, which is an indigenous people of the Amazon that have worked with ayahuasca since way back. So studying their traditions and studying their way of working with the plants. Going to the Amazon for me was a huge wake-up call into seeing, learning, understanding how we can work with the plants on such deep levels. Learning how to really communicate with nature, speak to nature, learn directly from nature. Something that I'm sure my ancestors were also doing, only there is no one here to teach me today.
con tus sentidos, sientes mis ícaros.
I am so deeply grateful that there are communities out there, indigenous tribes, indigenous people all around the world that are willing to share their sacred traditions. It's like little gems that are kept safe, that have been kept safe, and now they are opening up for some of us to learn from, so that we can reconnect with our own roots and reconnect with the wisdom that we have here in our own lands.
Medicina, medicina, ay, ay, ayahuasca. Medicina, medicina, ay, ay, ayahuasca.
There's nothing I want more today than to help others reconnect with themselves, with their own roots, to find their own ways coming back home to themselves. I would not be where I am today if it had not been for ayahuasca. I don't think I would have been able to turn things around. I needed to take these steps, to sit with this medicine, learn from this medicine. And so, as it turns out, ayahuasca was definitely